This is cool.
We got to get some yoga instruction going on this because I am definitely not practicing proper fitness right now.
All right, so I think we could banter for a couple minutes just to make sure people are like checking in. There's a right there. I can see if there's anybody watching. And I'm gonna share this link. How do you broadcast, Isabel? Do you know how you broadcast it to people? Do I have to do that through Facebook?
I think so. I don't know if the link itself will work, but then once you're like people will get a notification that Creative Collective is live.
All right, I'm still here, but I'm gonna pop over to Facebook for a sec.
Yeah.
Let's see, live now. So let's share that. Do I have to do that through Facebook? Oh, feedback, hold on.
I think so. I don't know if the link itself will work, but then once you're like people will get a notification that Creative Collective is live.
All right, how do I share you? Pop over to Facebook for a sec. Share? Live now.
Oh.
Okay, let's do share and on my timeline, and we are live.
I think so. I don't know if the link itself will work, but then once you're like people will get a notification that Creative Collective is live.
All right, I'm gonna get out of this page, and I am going to come back to you. Okay, we're here. All right, so we're with Isabel and Nick from Mainvest. Do one of you want to just describe what Mainvest does in general, like before we hit this critical moment?
For sure, yeah. In general, what Mainvest is a platform for communities to support local businesses through actually investing in those businesses. And then on the other side of the equation, allowing local businesses to raise investment from, not just like big banks, but actually from members of the community that are there to support them and provide those community members like financial returns for supporting local.
Great. And could you tell me a couple local businesses that have done this that people might know about?
For sure, yeah. Like in the North Shore, we're headquartered in Salem, Mass. So we do have, though we have businesses across like New England, we have a nice group of awesome ones in the North Shore. Amazing Pizza is a great example of a Salem business that raised for her expansion to the Beverly location. Chez Casa, which is right on Bridge Street in Salem. Twisted Escape Room, which is around like Lafayette next to the Starbucks down the street. Mm-hmm. And Nightshade Noodle Bar, which got one of like the best new visits in Boston.
Yeah.
Restaurants board at Lynn. If anyone hasn't tried out Nightshade, it's just phenomenal.
And she's doing takeout.
So right now there's a way. So
great. So obviously this whole crisis is affecting, many, many people, but your entire business model is based on supporting small businesses. So you are pivoting in an interesting fashion, which it's really amazing to me to watch how many small businesses have found creative, interesting ways to pivot their entire models in like 48 hours.
For sure.
Yeah, our industry, and we focus more on the creative community and the creative industries. And, you guys are a member of our group. And so what have you guys started to look at as far as pivoting your model to not only stay afloat, but also to support the small businesses you have in place and possibly new small businesses?
For sure. I mean, I think we're in a unique situation where, though we could consider ourselves a small business, that we were able to raise like a very strong round of like venture capital. So like we have some backing and capital to support through this. And, when we think about the acute challenges, like the difference between now and like even 2 weeks ago, we have this, recent kind of shutdown of restaurant operations. Like as of Sunday, you have small businesses like seeing this acute dip in revenue with the same costs that they've had before. And just a real need for being able to find different ways, whether it's like through like governmental programs and support, or whether community support, to bolster these businesses and get them set up for success and being able to kind of weather this storm. So one of the things that we just launched today is like kind of phase one of what we're calling like the Main Street Initiative, which is a basically zero interest loan for businesses that like are feeling this acute capital crunch. It's $2,000 that can like it's like directly deposited into the business, so that for the next few weeks you're looking at rent, you're looking at headcount, you're looking at cost of goods sold, insurance, like whatever those bills are, that suddenly the revenue that's been being brought in, that's been supporting that is gone, allows them to kind of take a breath and stay afloat. And then alongside that, setting up these kind of platform raises to allow them to go out to the community and have the community invest, not donate, but actually invest and have the potential for return, so that we can have the community mobilize and support local businesses during these trying times.
Great. So this also seems like a really interesting and unique opportunity. Existing businesses is one thing, but I'm sure that there's, thousands of people out there that had the, great idea for a business, and they're like, well, we don't necessarily want to do that now. However, this would be an interesting way to keep that process moving forward for the, the entrepreneurial skill set, the new type of business, or as I'm seeing with all of these ridiculously talented humans online lately, absolutely new businesses. I mean, can you support, are you brick and mortar only? Do you, go ahead.
I would say local only, and local being like local anywhere. Brick and mortar is kind of an easy way to tangent that away from, like a tech company. Like if someone wants to start the next Uber, we're not, like that's not
okay.
Right. But brick and mortar in terms of the confines of having like a lease is not like a hard set.
Right. I mean, I think of Nathan in the Wandering Stage, which is not traditional in any fashion. One of our other members, Nathan, who does the Wandering Stage, it's a portable, movable stage. So obviously that kind of breaks the rules of what brick and mortar would be. Do you have, what are your, obviously you talk to a lot of businesses, especially your success cases in your current cohort of funding. What are they feeling right now?
I mean, it goes without saying that in the past week and a half, like the shift is super tangible and super felt in the small business space. Again, because like, it's not like people have, $100,000 in the banks. Like, oh, like, all right, this is a, trend of the market. We'll wait it out. There's kind of two things going on right now. You have like a literal pandemic, which is, it sounds kind of crazy to say, but at this point, I think we can accept the fact that this is a big deal, and that like we need to be, doing like taking steps backward in a sense to be able to take a large step forward.
Right.
And then alongside that, like the pandemic was a trigger for a market recession that is coming out of 12 years of growth and like one of the strongest bear markets that we ever seen. And I don't want to get too financial here.
Yeah, no.
But it's not just that like the coronavirus is the reason for this. Like the market was growing at a rapid pace. Like there were, if you look at over the last year and a half, you can find like a million finance blogs we're talking about like, oh, a recession is coming. And it was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back in a sense. And so what makes it really unique is that in a normal recession, businesses are like, all right, how do you support small businesses? You go to them. The X factor here is you just can't right now. And like if you're practicing strong social distancing, and I mean, we're seeing it across, and like again, like we can use brick and mortar in quotation marks because it affects all small businesses. But in like brick and mortar placemakers, like restaurants, yoga studios, bars, hair salons, every single business that's relying on people walking in the door is experiencing a massive cut in revenue right now. And that's not because people don't want to go there, but literally because they can't.
They can't, right. So Isabel, do you have, what's your title there?
Community manager.
So what are you doing, or what have you seen any of your success cases or current cohort doing to kind of try to offset this a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to say that even though everyone's a little bit nervous about everything that's happening, a lot of them are also very optimistic because they see Mainvest and their capital raise, especially in our current cohort, as a way to engage the community and excite the community in what can otherwise be a really kind of scary and isolating time. So it kind of helps the business model that we already have shine in terms of supporting local in a very tangible way. So even though there's definitely a lot of fear and a lot of setbacks when it comes to things like build outs or supplying vendors or kind of getting open, that's all very frustrating, but there's still a sense of optimism around kind of engaging the community and getting them to sign up. So we've seen a lot of creative solutions, and whether that's a lot of what we heard in terms of doing gift cards or prepaying for services, but also what we've seen too is a really beautiful sense of community. I know that Emmett, the founder of Teetotaler up in New Hampshire, did a live stream yesterday to provide all of these different resources for businesses in the area. So we've just seen a lot of a community and kind of coming together to get past all of this, because it really is unprecedented. So definitely scary, but we've seen a lot of optimism too coming out of our community.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I would highly suggest people keep their eyes open. There's some great ideas floating around through organizations such as yourself and local business programs. And honestly, the artists and the creative people are like really stepping up right now. I'm hearing a lot of stuff about there's one called CouchCon, and there's another one like Social Isolation Festival, and just ways to get through this a little bit. And I mean, what a great opportunity for all those kids that are at home. Some of these parents have no idea what they're doing with homeschooling and such, to be immersed in small business, arts and culture, the community in a stronger fashion. Hopefully it opens up a lot of new opportunities for people to do that type of stuff. So how can people get more information? Who qualifies? You want to touch on that?
For sure. So like we just launched this thing today, and we're not trying to set like super hard, rigid qualification criteria. Like we want to see how.
Really good. I just got the SBA stuff, the qualification checklist, and it's a lot of people are going to struggle.
Exactly, and that was like, I think the reason why the reason why we like needed to do this was, you have a bunch of great mobilization from governmental, semi-governmental resources on the state and federal level, but in order for them to do that, like the timelines are much longer than people think, and there's an acute need right now. And so, having the ability to kind of take some of that risk on in order to like spread that need is hugely important, because like it's going to be great, 6 weeks from now when businesses are able to get the $75,000 SBA or like Massachusetts-based fund grant, but like it's retroactive to what's going on in this 6 weeks. And I am incredibly optimistic, and like in seeing how the community is starting to come along with this, and the narrative around like everyone is asking like, how are we supposed to support local? How can we support local? There's a massive amount of opportunity to bring the community together, even if together means like screen by screen at this point in time.
Right.
And it's crazy to think about what this would look like 20 years ago.
Right. I said to Michelle in my office, I was like, we'll all get through this unless the internet goes out.
But like what we encourage right now is we built this thing specifically thinking about the businesses that are directly impacted right now. So restaurants, bars, but also like even though like those were directly impacted by the shutdown, like yoga studios, hair salons, like fitness, like the different brick and mortar space, like all of that is on the table. Right. And if you are kind of having that question, like what the hell am I going to do? Like we definitely want you to talk to us, because I think we've got like the best things in sliced bread option for like the next few weeks.
Right.
And we're not really trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes on this. It's just like someone has to do something.
Right. Great. Well, I will link out to all the information and your website and everything, and we'll blast that on social and such. Do you have any words of hope to give to small businesses at the moment beyond what you're offering just in general, because you've worked with so many small business owners?
For sure. I mean, it's on like the economic side, like economies move in cycles, and in a way it's interesting how much you think about like what's going on right now. Like there's the global like macroeconomic cycles that drive into this. But the thing to remember is, communities actually have a level of resilience and isolation where we like operate in kind of this closed loop ecosystem if we want to. And it's really about people understanding that, this isn't a crazy dire situation. It's hyper accelerated by the craziness of the coronavirus, but like that too shall pass. And coming out of that, it's just going to be like people seeing these small businesses that they can now support and going to them. And the best part about this, in my opinion, is that there was a market correction and people can realize like maybe investing in something that I have no idea what the hell is going on is not as valuable as investing directly into like my community and seeing the impact of that. Because
I mean, definitely saw, the vulnerability of the mom and pops and the micro businesses, and we're going to see that really stretched over the next couple weeks. So it's good to know that there are some options being worked on that, don't necessarily mean having to go through the government process, because it's daunting and it's sometimes scary. And I know from a lot of small business owners, we don't necessarily do our books the best. We don't necessarily keep track of everything. And, when the requirements are, hey, we need 3 years of receipts and details, like, I don't even know if I have that. So
and it's about doing the right thing and like just make
right.
It doesn't have to be that complicated. I think with the government, sometimes it does have to be complicated, but no, there are other recourses. And like, we're by nowhere like means like the one-stop shoppers. There are a bunch of great.
Good that there's a lot of options.
Yeah, they're starting to come together, and I think that's. You want to talk about where I'm optimistic is it's been like 48 to 72 hours, and look at what's happening already. Like, there's an immense amount of resilience within local communities and an immense amount of resources that are continue to be built. Like, we hope to, be doing everything we can to be a part of that, but we know we can't do it alone. And at this point, we feel like we're not worried that we're going to have to, because we're seeing all this.
Right. It's great. It's outside the box thinking, and it's a bunch of great communities that are coming together and working together. And, hopefully this starts to break down some of those silos that had really been pretty obvious over the past, couple of years anyways. And you're seeing people like putting down the microphone of stupidity and being like, hey, my neighbor's in pain. What can I do? My neighbor's hurting. My small business that I've, taken for granted every Friday night for the past year and a half is really hurting right now. What can I do about that? So it's good that you guys are providing a new option.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest like net benefits of this in terms of like media cycles. It's like it's not about left or right. Like, everyone's kind of thinking forward right now, and that small businesses, like this isn't partisan at all. This is people, on the ground working with each other. Again, whether they have to do it from screens or handshakes is we'll progress there. But this is an amazing opportunity for communities to really be able to like step up and support. Remember at the end of the day, like what actually matters.
Yeah, I keep coming back to just I don't know where it came from, but we will find a way. And there's so many great outside the box thinkers in general around that, I'm looking to our community to be like, put solutions on the table and let's figure some stuff out. Isabel, do you have anything else you want to add?
No. Yeah, no, all I would say is that if you are a supporter of small business and wondering what you can do from your couch, consider, anything that you've seen online, whether that's, a small gesture, like reaching out to a business owner to offer your help, or investing in a business on Mainvest. And, perhaps you've heard of us before, but aren't really sure if investing is your thing. I can assure you that investing is and should be for everyone who cares about small business. So think about all the different ways that you can help from your couch. It's easier than you think to take action from behind a screen. So don't feel discouraged, and we're all in this together.
Just because people that haven't used your platform, I want to just make sure you're not talking tens of thousands of dollars.
No.
So how can people start with investing into a small business?
I mean, it's as easy as kind of going onto the platform, seeing if you care, for example, about women or minority-owned businesses. You can look at some of those opportunities. If you care about investing in restaurants or different industries, or just in different locations, you can see if there's something that you're passionate about. Make an account really easily. Looks a lot like making an account anywhere else, and then start building a portfolio from there, or just choosing one small investment. It's really easy to get started, and you can go as big with it as you want, or you can just, choose a business owner that you really relate to and choose to support them.
What would your kind of starting point typical investment be? I know it's like $100.
Yep. $100.
So it's not ridiculous. And the way it works, you get some sort of an equity stake in that $100, and if they make sales, you end up getting a piece of that. How does that work?
Basically, like the way an investment works is they're sharing a portion of their revenue with every investor.
Right.
So, every quarter as they generate revenue, you get a portion of that revenue until you get the amount you invested plus whatever the stipulated return is.
Awesome.
Businesses are happy to do it because they would much rather take their money from supporters in the community and provide those returns to supporters in the community than like a Wall Street bank.
Yeah.
And communities are happy because it's, again, in this crazy market volatility, it's a really good way to diversify your investment into local business.
Great. So you're not getting a t-shirt, but you're actually getting cash in hand.
No, and in some cases you are still getting it. So
T-shirts are good.
The best of both.
All right. So where can you just say the website, Instagram, social handles, whatever you want?
Yeah, it's www.mainvest.com. Instagram's at Mainvest Inc., I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, did I do this wrong? Oops. Sorry.
Yeah, our Facebook is Mainvest, Instagram's Mainvest Inc. Yeah. Had to switch it for Instagram.
There you go. Bang.
I'm sure people figure it out, but
well, keep us updated. And if you have any good success stories or tips or tricks or something that you're one of your members, shoot it along. We have our platforms with Creative Collective and Creative North Shore, and we can definitely get the word out there. And we'll share the information from your website about this specific campaign and try to get the word out there to some great small business owners that are looking to keep going, start up, whatever, not slow down the process.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right. And good luck with everything.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming on. Bye.